Has there ever been a person with zero cybernetics, like nothing at all? Yeah, in the world of Cyberpunk, you can live a life without cybernetics, it's just an inconvenient one. Cyberware usage has become so commonplace that even your average, everyday, regular person is going to have at least a few cybernetics. Cybernetic implants aren't just used by some badass mercenaries to make themselves stronger. It's also used for mundane things. Things like making phone calls, transferring and receiving money, or replacing a body part that has been damaged. There are even some jobs that will require you to have cybernetics. Like a heavy manual labor job might require you to have synthetic muscles so you can actually do their workload. So while there's no law demanding that you have cybernetics, not having them could cut you off from certain jobs, as well as just lead to a bunch of day-to-day inconveniences you'd have to deal with, since you'd probably have to use like old school analog technology. Also, this world is just pretty unsafe in general, so if you have no cybernetics, you could be at a disadvantage if you ever have a problem with someone who does have them. Despite all this, you can still find people that choose not to have cybernetics. For example, in the game, you could come across some monks that abstain from cyberware because having it conflicts with their spiritual beliefs. Unfortunately though, there are people who view them as easy targets because of this, and there's even a side quest in the game where this gang called Maelstrom kidnaps one of these monks and then forcibly installs cyberware on him. Also, there's a Ripper doc you can meet in the game that has little to no cyberware installed because he believes that it messes up your brain. It's ironic because he's a Ripper doc and his whole job is about installing those into other people, but he personally chooses not to do it. Also, I didn't know this, but one of the comments responding to this comment says that there was an example of an Arasaka bodyguard in the older Cyberpunk material that didn't have cybernetic implants. So I guess you could still be a badass without them, you just gotta be built different. This last example was a spoiler for the DLC Phantom Liberty. If you're not ready to hear it yet, save the video, come back to it when you are. In an ending you could get if you played the Phantom Liberty DLC and made certain choices, V, the protagonist of the game, loses their ability to use any cybernetics except the most bare-bone basic ones. And while that's not the end of the world for a regular person, V was a badass merc, and losing the ability to have combat cybernetics essentially ruins their career. So just like how in the real world there are people who might choose to not have a cell phone, to not use the internet, to not have a bank account, living in the world of Cyberpunk without cybernetics is doable, and there are people who choose to do it, but it will come with a lot of challenges, disadvantages, and just your everyday inconveniences. But on the bright side, you won't get cyberpsychosis, and maybe the scavengers will look the other way if they see you passing by.